Welcome to The Sarah Scoop Show. It's time to get the scoop with Sarah.
Hey, my name is Madeline Merlo. I'm a country music singer and songwriter, and also a season 2 winner of Songland. I started singing at a really young age. My dad was like a funk soul musician when I was a kid. My mom just loved country music. So I grew up with a lot of like instruments and band members in and out of the home, and a really like creative environment, I guess, and sang at my kindergarten talent show when I was 6 and just was like hooked from then. I did like a lot of commercials and musical theater and like anything creative on stage I was down for. I got really, really lucky when I was about 16 years old and met a songwriter and started singing demos for him in a really like serendipitous type of way. And one of those demos ended up on a record label's desk, and I got signed when I was 17 up in Canada. When I first moved here or first started coming back and forth, I did like a lot. I did like the Country Music Hall of Fame and the kind of like more of the touristy things. But then once I moved here, it's funny, once you move to a place, it's like you don't do a lot. Like I never go to Broadway. I never do all of like the Nashville things once you're down here permanently. I love words. I love the story aspect of songs, and I always have, and it's always been something that I've gravitated to. So when I started to sing in competitions and talent shows, it was always like a country song that I went with, whether it was Martina McBride or Faith Hill or Shania or whatever. I don't know. I really gravitated towards that, and I love the storytelling aspect. And I think that the lyric and the story is a little more purposeful in country than the other genres, just because it's just so important. Like there are pop songs where this the first verse and the second verse are the same and it doesn't really matter. It's about the beat, it's about the feeling, and all of those things are so important. But I grew up like writing poetry. Like I was very fascinated with the words, so I like that about country. A casting director reached out to me a few years ago about another show actually that didn't end up getting made. It was like it's supposed to be this NBC singing show, and I think it was through Instagram that they had found me, and so I submitted some music for that, and then they were like, cool, we love you. And then I didn't hear anything from them for like 2 years, and then they reached out for season 1 for Songland, and I didn't know like what it was or anything, but it seemed really cool. I loved the idea that they would, take a peek behind the curtain of what it means to create music and write songs. And I mean, I moved to Nashville to become a better songwriter. That's why I wanted to be down here so bad. So I was super down for it. Didn't hear anything back for season 1. They kind of came back around for season 2. I submitted one song and then got cast. And basically it was Thursday night, I got a call and I was on a plane Friday morning. So it was a really, really whirlwind experience. I was really nervous walking into it, didn't know what to really expect, but it honestly panned out so beautifully for me. I couldn't have like written it better myself. All of the judges are on each episode. So you walk out and you've got your artist, and mine was Lady Antebellum, and then you've got Shane, Esther, Ryan, and they're all sitting there, and you basically live pitch your song to Lady A. And I was really nerve-wracking. I can't really, it's big. You're on the Universal NBC lot in Hollywood, and everything's very big, and it's a huge crew, a huge like production and stuff, but everybody was really, really sweet. And Lady Antebellum was really, really kind, and I don't know, it was a really great experience. I think that they have something really special with that show, and there was a lot of respect, I felt like, for the writers and the crew. And I met, so many other songwriters on different episodes or on my episode that I still, talk to. And if this pandemic wasn't going on, we'd probably be writing in person. But yeah, like I built so many relationships from that. But it was just a really, really cool experience. I was really shocked. The thing was I felt really good about my song. I felt like their reactions were really positive, but I wasn't able to watch the other people perform. So I had no idea, like there could have been another song that they freaked out over too, but they were really, really encouraging when I played. So I felt confident, but I honestly didn't know. And I always say like winning is I told you, like I did a lot of singing competitions and musical theater, but I was never like the winner. I was never the lead. Like I was always always the one that came in second place or the one that was like in the chorus. And so I was really shocked. I was like, I never win anything. This is so wild. And then of course it's like on national television. So it was really, really cool. And yeah, and they decided to take that song to radio as well, which is the first song ever from Songland to do that. And they announced that by posting this Zoom video where Lady A basically told me. And I just feel like they're really great people. They didn't have to make me a part of that, but they did. And yeah, it was really, really cool. I hope so. I mean, they've all said, they were like, we want this, pair up to do again, and we'd love to continue to write. I just did the other night a CMT live stream with Hillary. They're definitely people that I feel like are in my corner now and are our cheerleaders for me and my music, and Shane. And again, this pandemic's kind of like thrown a wrench into things, but once world gets back to normal, I'd love to write with them again. And definitely feel like that's, in the realm of possibility. Absolutely. Ryan Tedder is so iconic. And when me and Shane were working on the song, we got to go to Ryan Tedder's like writing compound in LA. So you show up at this like huge mansion thing with all of these like little kind of like treehouse vibes where there's like writers and producers in each one working on music. And it was just like what you dream about as a young writer. And it was the best day, really. Yeah, you're just like, wow, this is like what, like there are writers every day and right, because Ryan Tedder has his own publishing company with his own writers underneath him, and so obviously that compound is filled with them, and they're just writing songs for the biggest stars in the world in that place, like songs for Beyonce and Ariana Grande have been like written in that place. So it's just like, it's so cool. Yeah, absolutely. I'd seen them live like multiple times. They have a really, really great reputation in Nashville as well too, as being like really kind people and artists that kind of like push boundaries and release music it's always really cool. It's always really fresh, lyrically especially. So yeah, I was definitely a fan of them and thrilled that they were the artists on my episode, just because of Hillary and it being a female. And I was like, she might be able to hear her voice in mine, or her voice in my melodies or lyrics, and my female perspective might play a part in their decision. So I was super stoked to hear it with them. I love Carole King. She's a songwriter, an artist from the 70s that I really love. I love Dolly Parton. I love Casey Musgraves so much. She's my favorite. I love Ariana Grande. I love pop music. I love Kings of Leon. I love the Beatles. Like I'm like all over the map. I think just music that makes me feel something or feel good or dance or whatever it is. Love Post Malone. Like it's all over the map. So yeah, I think it's cool as a songwriter to be able to create something different every day. So I like to listen to a bunch of different stuff and feel like what I'm doing is fresh and cool and different. You're so right. I think it's a really exciting time to be a part of the country genre, especially because it's just keeps growing and it's bigger and bigger and weaving in and out. And the box is getting kind of like, shattered really. And it's also become really cool to do a collaboration with a country artist. We've got Diplo and Morgan Wallen and Zedd and Maren Morris releasing these or Old Town Roads, like the biggest, these massive songs, and they're featuring country artists on them. It's become really cool to do that, which I love. And I think that the pop space is really, really great because it's so worldwide. Country is kind of breaking those barriers, slowly getting into Europe and Japan and doing all those things. But pop, it's like the whole world. So it's so cool when, Zedd and Maren Morris, like the rest of the world was introduced to Maren Morris when we already knew her, but they were introduced to her at that moment. So I think it's a great space for the genre. I would say that would be the number one piece of advice I would give to any songwriter, country songwriter. There are hubs of, LA is a great place to go if you like to write songs. London's a great place, that especially if you like to write country music, move to Nashville. You can't like it's a lot harder to do it from anywhere else. And the amount that I've learned and the people that I've met from the years that I've been here has been like astronomical. I'm such a better writer. I'm such a better singer. I know who I am as an artist. Like this place, it's like school. It's like this University of Nashville, I feel like, because you're just like, you're put through a lot, and the ups and downs of the industry. It's really saturated here, and all my friends are in music. Everyone speaks the same language. Like you're just thrown in your face every single day. Everyone's working, hustling, working really hard. Yeah, it's really tough, but it's an amazing way to grow. So I'm so glad I moved here. Best decision I made. There's different, they're completely different. I always say it's like shifting gear. If I'm in like if I'm writing songs every day, I'm just in a different headspace. And I feel like there's really two Madelines. And when I'm performing, I'm a different version of myself. I'm so much more confident. I'm big, I'm strong, and I come out there and I'm like jumping around. And Songwriter Madeline's pretty chill. And so it's like a different kind of zone, but being on stage and being able to like connect with people is really, really cool, and something that I love, I think, more than anything. It's hard because I mean, like writing, it's right there, because when you get a hook or you write the song and you finish it and you're sitting there with your writers and you're like, we just brought something into the world that wasn't there this morning, and it's so special, and look what it says, and then you can see how it can like impact people later. A song that like, again, wasn't even there can like hit somebody's life, but performing is like you get to see that moment that it does hit them. Or if everyone's like dancing together, you're like, you created that moment for people. It's a really adrenaline filled power, I guess, that is really, really interesting. And I tour quite a bit up in Canada. I'm really lucky to be able to do that, and just the whole element of it is just so great. I get to go on stage, play music, and then if I'm opening up for an act, I get to sit side stage and watch a show and an artist that I love, and hang out with my band. And it's just like it's a really crazy lifestyle, but it's really fun though. So I mean, I think that as a female artist, we get to kind of play with fashion quite a bit, and my closet is disgusting. It's huge, and I love putting together outfits. Songland, they made me look really cool, a lot cooler than I am, I think. Their wardrobe set up on the NBC lot was nuts. And I walked in there and it was literally like a warehouse filled with everything. Like there was like a Converse bin that had every color like of Chuck and every size of them. Like it was crazy. It was like anything that you would want, it was there. So that was a really fun part as well. It was just like picking and wearing whatever. Like the jewelry, I'm a big jewelry person too. I have a lot of jewelry. So I think mainly like with fashion, it's one thing that it's incredibly important when you're developing your brand to get like your style right. Like, you know, when Miranda Lambert comes out, she's usually wearing some type of the same thing that, you know, like she's wearing like something super country, super Miranda Lambert, and you know it's her, and it all makes sense. And fashion is a great way to develop your brand, which is really important to having an artist really connect with you and understand like what you're trying to tell them. Quite a few years ago now, I was in a movie called Country Crush. It was kind of like a musical vibe alongside Jana Kramer and Sophie Simmons. And it was, I'm not an actress. It's not something that I do or whatever, but they found me on the internet as well. And we're just like, you look like our star. You sound like her. Like, can you act? And my manager called me. He's like, can you act? I was like, oh, not really. But I tried and did it, and it's out in the world for everyone to see. So yeah, it was definitely it's a hard thing to do. Acting is no joke. I mean, it's long hours. It was a wild experience, but I felt like I learned a lot and got a taste of this other side of the, you know, entertainment industry. And it was really fun. I would love to do it again. Love to, you know, get a record deal in America. I've just been functioning kind of as a Canadian artist for the last couple of years. So it'd be really cool to start building my story down here. Love to write more songs and get more cuts with artists like Lady Antebellum, play shows all around America and the world. I would love to like play shows in Europe. I think that would be really fun. I have really big like hopes and aspirations. Like I said, it's a tough industry. It's really really hard, but it's so worthwhile when things when you can watch the ball slowly start to roll. So I hope that through the Songland thing and the momentum that I've got, that I can tick some of those things off. I'd love to play the Grand Ole Opry. That's, high on my bucket list, and hope that I get to do that one day.
Thank you for watching The Sarah Scoop Show. Head to sarahscoop.com for more.